All right, time to turn our attention now to the Southern Illinois women who get ready for year number 4 of the Kelly Bond White era. Last year, just a nightmare for sure. 4-28, 2-18 in the Missouri Valley Conference. Lost their final 10 games, fell to Illinois State in the opening round of the tournament, 88-48. It was just a mess of a year. And so much of it just turned into the situation is like say, I mean, they were taking a sport to a gunfight. I mean, they just they were so beat up and they were so hurt. I mean, they had 3, Karis Allen did not play, lost to a season ending injury. Angela Samuel out for the year. Janiyah Thompson, who started 6 of the first 8 games, then she was hurt and lost for the year. I mean, we were up there with Murray State and you're watching practice and you're just like, where's the rest of the team? I mean, they were so beat up by the end of the year. It was just, you just needed to get to the end. And thankfully, I guess mercifully they did. And now it's trying to rebuild and trying to get ready for year 4, and an important year, certainly for Coach Bond White, for this program. It is the last 3 years. It has been, one step back. And again, there are reasons and there's excuses. I think last year there was definitive reasons why it was such a struggle when you have that many key kids that were just hurt and you never saw them on the floor. And this year now, it is a bit of a rebuild, but they have a lot of pieces back, including those 3 kids that were hurt last year. That's almost found money that you bring them in as almost recruits, but you didn't have them a year ago, and now you do. And how much of an upswing can that be for the Salukis? Time will tell. When we talk about departures, there is no more key departure, period, hard stop, than Gift Uchenna. She was unbelievable last year. 14.5 points, 12.8 rebounds per game. One of only 2 players in America last year that had those numbers. She went into the transfer portal at the end of the year, left for Wisconsin. Isabella Palmquist, who averaged 8 points a game. She was the 3rd leading scorer on the team. She was a freshman from Denmark. She has gone back to Denmark. She's playing there professionally now. But the Salukis lost 4 of their top 6 scorers from a year ago, but no more impactful player than Gift Uchenna, especially when you just look at all of their numbers last year were at the bottom, essentially at the bottom of the league. I mean, they were 11th in points per game in scoring offense, 11th in scoring defense, 11th in field goal percentage, 12th in field goal percentage allowed. Now, they were 12th in field goal percentage allowed. Murray State was 11th in field goal percentage allowed, and they went to the NCAA tournament. So that's not a complete death sentence of a statistic, but it was, again, at the bottom of the league. They were last in the Valley in 3-point shooting. They were last in the Valley in 3-point defense. But if there was one thing they were really good at, was rebounding the basketball. 7th in the league in rebounding, 3rd in the league in offensive rebounding. And a big reason is because of that young lady right there, Gift Uchenna. Again, she's gone. They're going to have to replace that work on the glass this year, and that is going to be a substantial piece of the puzzle for Kelly Bond White. When we talk about additions, this may be as impactful of an addition as we have seen as well in India Green, who spent a couple of years at Missouri State. Last year, she was at Georgia Southern. 12 points, almost 9 rebounds a game, comes in, brings physicality on the inside, and that's the one. She's the one that I think we can really point to as, I don't know that you can fully replace the numbers that Gift Uchenna put up, but India Green is going to do her best to try to duplicate that for SIU this year. When we talk about returners, they have their number 2 scorer back this year in Kayla Cooper. Cooper last year averaging almost 10 points a game. They've got Kai Nelson back as well. She averaged 6.5. But again, I think the part that is lost in this is that you get these 3 kids back as well who were almost just last year lost. And it was, Janiyah Thompson, who was averaging 6 points a game as a 5'10" guard, and it's size that's coming back too that I think is important. Karis Allen, 6 foot. Angela Samuel, 6'2". So you're just bringing an influx of size into this lineup and rotation for Kelly Bond White that hopefully will be able to, again, they're not going from 12th to 1st in these categories. But boy, if you can get back up into the middle of the pack, you're going to be able to win some games. And at least it feels, and we haven't seen anybody play a game yet, but it feels that the top of the league has settled a little bit this year. There was a definitive line in the sand last year between, we talk about the top 6, bottom 6. UIC was 7th, and I think we can put them in the top as, they were the only team in the bottom 6 to beat anybody from the top 6, and they beat the 2 co-champs in Murray State and Missouri State last year. But it just feels like they're settled a little bit. So how much can SIU come up from the bottom and maybe work their way up the ladder a little bit and see if they can compete for a middle of the pack spot this season? When we talk about the non-conference schedule for the Salukis, look, they need wins. They just need wins. They need confidence for this team this year. That's as much as what I believe. They got 5 home games. You've got 2 non-D1s. You've got Austin Peay, Western Kentucky, and SEMO. Western Kentucky last year would be a quad 3 game. The other 2 are quad 4s. Great. You're going neutral site games. You're going to play Winthrop and Arkansas. That's a Q3 and a Q4. And then on the road, you're going to be challenged at Mizzou. You're going to play Purdue Fort Wayne, who was a quad 2 last year, and then UAB is a quad 3. It's a manageable non-conference schedule. And that is what I think in the end is the manageable. I mean, you look at it. I think they can win more than half. I mean, you've got 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10. We got 10 non-conference games. I mean, I think 5-5 is doable. They won 4 games all of last year, so going 5-5 in the non-conference would be a substantial win for them. And that's just win your home games. Win those 5 at home. Go steal 1 on the road or at the neutral site, and now you're at 6-4, and you're feeling like $1 million. But this year is just a lot about stay healthy. That in the end, in so many ways, is just the absolute key for everything with this team. Stay healthy. To lose 3 kids last year to season-ending injuries is just I don't know. I can't imagine the conversations that went on in Kelly Bond's White office with her and her coaching staff around those tables, just going, what have we done in a formal life to have all this happen at one time? But you get those 3 back. You got a young lady named Elena Krause coming in, played sparingly at Oral Roberts last year. She averaged about 3.5 points a game, 5'8" guard, nearby Oakville, Illinois, local kid. So, there's going to be support there for her. Think she can come in and really help. They've gotten some kids out of the 2 JUCO kids, 1 NAIA out of the transfer portal as well. But for me this year, when you look at their, the additions, but the returners, there's almost a melding of the 2 because of the returnees that were hurt last year and didn't play at all last year. And now it's just like, oh, we've already had these kids on the roster. It's like we got them out of the transfer portal. And we got kids from the Missouri Valley Conference out of the transfer portal to come to our program. They just happen to have been sitting there all last year. And so to have that continuity, I think is a great thing. So we will see. 4 wins last year. Certainly got to believe they can get that into double digits this year. How high up, time will tell. But that is where the Salukis will get going. I think that, again, the most important thing, win early, get some confidence, 5 home games in the early going, and we'll see how Coach Bond White and her Salukis can bounce back this season.